Happy Sunday afternoon, Victory Force Option Training fans and followers. It's a beautiful sunny summer day here in the Berkshire Hills of Western Massachusetts. Actually was inside preparing this and typing it and realized I couldn't pass up the opportunity to come outside and at least record the video portion of this week's installment. Definitely should have been outside for more of the day, but the day is still young. There's still plenty of daylight left to enjoy this beautiful day. It's been a busy couple weeks with lots of learning opportunities and travel, so let's get right to it. Starting off with daily pro reading. My pro reading time has been derailed or interrupted several times during this past couple of weeks, either because of early morning travel or a couple days of minor illness, so I feel like I'm a little behind. The primary pro reading material remains Quiet Leadership by David Rock. I'm about a third of the way through it, and I finished 2 of Rock's 6 steps. As I've stated last time, I'm really enjoying this book. It's reinforcing many recent lessons from other sources. I'm looking forward to incorporating the lessons into my personal leadership toolkit. I'm into the book of Micah in my gospel readings, and Whitman continues to round out my morning reading periods. As far as other readings, I decided to take a step back from Simon Sinek during my secondary reading, only because another opportunity presented itself. My friend and academy classmate Mark gave me a thoughtful birthday gift, a written history called Thunder at the Gates by Douglas R. Edgerton. Thunder is the history of the African American Civil War regiments, specifically the Massachusetts 54th, the Massachusetts 55th, and the 5th Massachusetts Cavalry. I couldn't delay starting it. I'm really enjoying the book. Besides the connection that my hometown of Pittsfield, Mass. has to the 54th, their chaplain, the Reverend Samuel Harrison, resided in Pittsfield and pastored a church here. The history of these units is fascinating. I've only made it to their departure from Boston en route to South Carolina so far, but I'm really enjoying it and looking forward to the rest of it. The book's prologue contains a passage that I found particularly poignant and timely. I thought I'd share it here. The title is The Advantage of Living in Times Calamitous. A nation does not know its strength until tested by calamity. Then it is that its power and endurance and capacity to invent are developed. Its latent energy, unknown in times of peace and plenty, is forced into action. Listlessness gives way to caution, dormancy to untiring watchfulness. In a word, it proves its power to exist, and thus commands respect from all. Misfortunes awake all better feelings of our nature. In the hour of adversity, we feel drawn closer to each other, and the common cord running through all humanity vibrates in sympathy for mutual suffering. We extend the narrow home circle till it includes the entire human family. And around a common cause, we work with a common will. Our pride is humbled, and we are reminded of our dependence on a higher power. The gloom passes, the sun shines out, we walk, stronger, better, freer. This was written by Norwood Penrose, also known as Penn Hollowell, as a Harvard College essay, March 22nd, 1860. Penn Hollowell then went on to serve with the Massachusetts 54th, and I thought his essay was perfect for what's confronting us as a nation right now. Other learning opportunities during the last couple of weeks. Well, I started off this period by attending a short seminar on the Commonwealth's web-based emergency operations platform. This resource, referred to as Web EOC, is used to develop statewide situational awareness for large-scale pre-planned special events and other emergencies. Since my role in emergency management will be changing and expanding soon, I thought I'd better get a handle on using it. I ended the first week by starting with a new cohort of recently promoted supervisors in the Massachusetts Trial Court Leadership Academy. I've been working with this program for several years. Due to scheduling issues, we had to modify at this time and break up my sessions over 2 weeks. I started with them on Friday the 14th and spent all day with them in their classroom at Westover Air Base. I was back with them the following week on the 20th for a full day of tactical leadership during a crisis. They were a great group to work with. The facility is much better than the previous location, and it sounds like the department's long-term plan is to increase the frequency of this program, so I'm looking forward to working with them again in the future. That evening, I was back at work, and one of my lieutenants and I presented the Alert Civilian Response to Active Shooter Events, or CRAZE curriculum, to a local congregation. That was really well received, and we need to figure out how to roll that out to the community more widely. I'm getting ready to embark on another round of personal development coaching, so I have some prep work to do and get out to my coach in advance of that. And then I wrapped up this 2-week period with the 5th session of our local Leadership Development Academy. The class has shifted to Quiet Leadership as their text, and the reviews are mixed so far. I think they'll get more into it as they get deeper into the text. They're doing amazing work on their class project, and I'm excited and proud to see their progress. I haven't given much attention in earlier installments to discovering podcasts and trying to build new habits around them. Based on the benefits I realized from extreme ownership and the dichotomy of leadership, I had started regularly listening to Commander Willink's Jocko podcast. I listen to that regularly now. Through that one, I discovered the Hands in Daylight podcast. Hands in Daylight is recorded by the principals in Origin and Origin Labs, Pete Roberts and Brian Littlefield. Pete and Brian talk about business, jiu-jitsu, life, the American dream, and good old-fashioned grit. I really enjoy listening to them also. Recently, on Pete's recommendation, I also checked out the Order of Man podcast. Order of Man is hosted by Ryan Mickler. Ryan is a veteran and an entrepreneur. His purpose is to support men by allowing them to network and learn from other like-minded men. I've only listened to a couple episodes so far, so I'm not ready to make a recommendation, but so far I've really enjoyed those as well. Regarding writing has mostly been centered on lesson plans, correspondence in this project. I'm working with a couple remote clients right now, and that has necessitated some new workflows. That's definitely a work in progress. What's been going on for fun? Well, as I stated earlier, I was battering some minor illnesses during this period, so I had to be diligent to create opportunities for fun and relaxation. Work commitments required some shifts to my normal schedule. As a result, I trained a lot more no-gi jiu-jitsu than I normally would, and it reminded me how much I really like training without the gi sometimes. I enjoy the variety. An evening budget session would normally derail the entire night, but C had some flexibility in her schedule, so we managed to have dinner together between appointments and the hearing. And since C had traveled for work midweek, we had to make up our date night on Friday night. We went and saw the movie Rocket Man at the Beacon Cinema. It was a fun night out. Last weekend, C and I both attended Pittsfield's Pride Fest in the Pittsfield First Street Common. She had to work on behalf of the college, but I went mainly to be able to spend some time with her and to support our diverse community. It was a beautiful afternoon. After we got back from the Pride Fest, I wrapped up that day by going out on my new bike and taking a pretty nice short ride. And on Sunday, the weather was bad. It was cold and cloudy and rainy, and it wouldn't have made for a good ride, but it was a perfect day to go for a ruck. So I got my pack on and got after it. Date night this week was dinner at the Proprietor's Lodge with a beautiful lake view, followed by a glass of wine and dessert at a Mission restaurant in downtown Pittsfield. Yesterday, started the day with a great jiu-jitsu class, followed by a long bike ride, and then making a short appearance at a small family reunion to kind of reconnect with my mother's extended family. All in all, despite being a little under the weather, this has been an awesome couple of weeks. Well, I think that's more than enough for now. It's a beautiful day. It's been enough work. I'll see you in a couple of weeks. Until then, be safe, keep the faith, do good work, 1 asterisk.